Hey, this is Kelly Phillips from WPPluginCoach.com and BoostInteractiveMedia.com. And we are at the point in our week of summer school where we're going to talk about where to place your keywords. So yesterday I had you create a list of keywords that your dream clients use. Today I'm going to show you what to do with those keywords. This is an excerpt from my Do-It-Yourself SEO for Small Business course, just a tiny little piece of the module on keywords. And there are 5 things that we're going to go over. I'm going to show you some screenshots in a minute of an actual page and where to put all of your keywords. And I am using WordPress as my example, but as I promised at the beginning of the week, this is platform agnostic. You can do this no matter what platform your website is on. If you put your keywords in the places I'm about to show you, you will see some bump in your search engine rankings. Depending on how much competition you have for those keywords, you could see huge jumps. I have seen people go straight to number 1 just really doing this little bit I'm going to show you. You can get this done in about 5 minutes per post or page. This is what I would consider the minimum of SEO. If you can at least do this with every post, you will see some difference. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you an actual post here. The first place that we're going to look at is the URL, and that is up here at the very top, this top red circle. Moving my cursor around there now. You always want your keyword to be in the URL. In my experience, this is the strongest signal for Google. When I make one change to a page and all I do is change the name of the URL, it instantly jumps sometimes pages in search engine rankings. Now you don't want to go and change pages that are already out there. If you change the URL on an existing page that's already indexed in Google and that people have already linked back to, you've now created broken links and none of those old links will work. So there are ways to change the links to old pages, but we don't have time to go into them right now. So you can look that up if you want. It's called a redirect. But don't change existing pages. But for new pages that you're creating and new posts that you're creating, make sure that your keyword shows up in the URL. Now the second big red circle here is your page title. Now in WordPress and in a lot of other platforms like Squarespace, once you put in a title for the page, the system creates the URL up here based on the title you enter. However, once that is created, you can change the title to be different from the URL. But by default, they usually echo each other like they do here. There can be other text in the page. We could have said garden maintenance services for the home, and garden maintenance services would have still been the keyword. Okay, so that's the second place. You want the keywords to show up somewhere in the text, preferably in the very first paragraph and preferably as close to the beginning as makes sense. Now you want to be careful when you're adding this into your text because remember, you're writing for humans, not for Googlebot, as tempting as it is. So don't make awkward sentence construction, don't make things sound funny just to get your keyword in. Make sure that it sounds normal and natural to a human being who's reading it, but put that keyword up in that first paragraph. Now there is an old tactic that used to work where people would put the keyword in as many times as they possibly could in as many places as they possibly could. Like every other sentence would have the words garden maintenance services. Okay, that doesn't work anymore. And in fact, not only does it not work, but Google will ban you or blackball your page if you do this too much. So if you have a site and you've got keywords, they call it keyword stuffing, keywords stuffed into every nook and cranny of your page, go edit that baby. Get those keywords out of there because Google does not like that anymore and it actually can be negative to your ranking. You only need it to be in there once or twice. Next, you want to have subheadings. And by subheadings, I don't mean a line where you bold the text. I mean actually an HTML heading. So whatever platform you're using, there will be somewhere a drop down or a way to define text as an H1 or a heading 1. So you want to make sure that you have some headings on your posts and pages that are designated with that H1 or H2. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look in the help files for your website platform and they should be able to tell you. So it's a good idea, not just for Google, but for humans. It's really a good idea to break up long bouts of text with headings. Okay, now we're going to talk images. This, of course, is a screenshot of WordPress. Yours may look a little different, but we'll still have these same fields someplace. Before you upload an image, when the image is still sitting on the hard drive of your computer, I want you to rename the image with keywords. Remember, cute little Googlebot doesn't have eyes. So when he sees this image, the only way he knows what it is by reading the file name. So gardenmaintenanceservices.ping is our file name. Now you can't have blank spaces in the file names of images. You need to put in dashes for the spaces. You can put in underscores too. Dashes are better. There are two. This is actually the most important one, but I usually do the title as well, but it's really the alt text field. This is what Google looks at as well for images to figure out what the image is about. Also, if you have any visually impaired users who are on your site with a screen reader, the screen reader is going to read whatever you put in this alt text field out loud. So make sure it makes sense. It should include your keywords, but it doesn't need to be just your keywords. It could say garden maintenance services for the home. Again, it could say get green luscious plants with garden maintenance services. You know, the alt text field can say anything. It just has to have your keywords, and it needs to make sense in relation to the image itself. That's it. If you can put your keywords into those spots in your page or post, you're going to get a leg up, a bump up in the search engine results. All right, tomorrow we're going to put it to the test. We're going to take a little field trip to a local business here in the town where I live, and I'm going to give you a little quiz and see if you can pick keywords that we should be using for that business. So until then,